All right, this is the video to show what's in the backpack that we take with us when we are on single track. I swear to God, if I say "Hey guys," I'm just punch me in the face. All right, here we go. This is an Usway pack. It's called the Tanker. It's not the biggest one they make. It's not the smallest one they make. It's right in the middle. It doesn't come with a bladder. It has this nice X-strap bracing on it, which I like. A bunch of my friends like. It keeps the backpack from jockeying all around on you. And it's a nice way to mount all the stuff you want to get at while you're riding without it being excessively bulky or, more specifically, abrasive and cut your neck or anywhere else in your body while you're riding from all the repetitive motions from the dirt bike. The way I have it rigged is I have this little retractable strap on the side for the camelback, so it keeps it out of the way. I can drink from it, just basically let it go. It gets out of the way. I almost always run one of these Spot emergency beacons. This one's, I don't know, the Gen 3. Thank God I've never had to do it. I use the Kurt Caselli mount that comes from, I believe, Giant Loop. It makes it easier to get at, so I don't have to fumble with it or find it in my backpack if I'm really, really hurt. I also run a radio. It's just a standard GMRS radio that you can buy through the internet. These ones we've had programmed. All my friends have the same channels. It works really well for us to be able to communicate to each other. In fact, trips have literally been saved from catastrophe as a result of having the radio, so we always run the radios. So let's turn into this. I just came back from riding, so this is literally the stuff that I have in here. There might be some Easter eggs because I have never unpacked this, or I should say I haven't unpacked it in a while. So I keep bags within bags. It's easier to get at stuff rather than having just a bundle of crap everywhere. This is the standard toolkit that you get with the KTM with some familiar looking tools. It's the expected stuff that you have with the KTM, but this one happens to go nicely with the Beta I ride as well. Spare spark plugs always. Fire starter. Steel stick. Absolutely need steel stick because you can punch a hole in your case if you're not careful. All the standard tools. Some extra wire for fusing something. Unusual bolts. 2 extra jets for the 2-stroke that I ride that will tend to foul jets if the gas has been in there too long. An extra 10 amp or 15 amp fuse. And that's about what you'd expect. Standard toolkit. What else? Spare kit. I won't go into it, but it's what you'd expect. Tire irons. A front tube, which can also be used in the back. Aluminum tire irons that have the correct axle for your bike. A socket on the back. And I believe I have a CO2 inflator in here. I can feel it, which we'd use to pump it up. But normally, I'd run a normal bike pump, a small bike pump. In Mexico, this would be mounted on the bike. In single track, I don't like it on the bike. I put it on my back. So, always have a spare. What else? Toe strap, which is just like 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch nylon tubular webbing. I think there might be 30 feet of it, enough to pull yourself out. It's heavy duty enough you could actually suspend the bike off of it too. Not that we'd ever get in a circumstance like that, but you could vertically yard the bike off the ground with this type of nylon webbing. The aforementioned radio. It's got an extra big battery, which honestly is overkill. All right. In the bottom, a shell, a Gore-Tex shell, a lightweight Gore-Tex shell. It is literally rule number 1. Always bring a shell. Always bring a shell. I don't care where you are, bring a shell. Exposure injuries are perhaps the number 1 killer of people that recreate outside. Two-liter Camelback. This is new stuff to me. What did I put in here? Little tchotchkes. Another lighter. This is like it's like a survival kit. Have a lighter. A little Altoids box, which I think, filled with ibuprofen, which is pretty much a universal medication when you're riding. If you're hurt or trying to get over being hurt, it's not bad to have. A gnarly headache can ruin your ride. Some food. Let's see, I got shot blocks, a glow stick for when all other lights no longer work, or you need to mark something and come back to it at night. It's really hard to navigate at night. Let's get into the main compartment here. All right, extra food. Completely random stuff like whatever. Kind bars, Cape bars, power bars. It's all the same. Package of nuts. Headlamp. Not, this is not like the police helicopter searchlight. It's enough that you can do fine work on your motorcycle and you don't have to have somebody else hold a light for you at night, or wherever you're at. It's nice to have a headlight if you want to see or poke around or look in some place that's hard to get at, or it's in the dark. This is a little atypical, but rather than a first aid kit, I carry what's called an Israeli bandage. It's a tourniquet and bandage in one. It's typically used for gunshot wounds, but if you have a fairly gnarly crash which involves blood loss on a motorcycle, it's typically on your appendages, not necessarily in the torso of your body. So we're talking arms and legs being cut and bleeding. This is absolutely necessary as a means to staunch blood flow, especially if you have a fairly deep puncture wound or deep gash. So it's also sealed, it's medically sealed and sanitary, so you don't have to worry about it getting dirty. It's like 100% waterproof. You don't have to worry about it getting dirty or damaged. And I think its shelf life is like upwards towards a decade, so it will survive and live in your pack for a long time. And that is it. That is everything in my pack, with the exception that there's often crushed beer cans in there on the side. They're not here today.